So I'll talk for just a couple minutes about angle, side angle, triangle congruence and a construction that shows how that works. So the materials that I'm going to be using are pencil and paper and our usual construction tool, compass and straight edge. Additionally, I'm going to be using a Sharpie or a black marker and also some type of transparency. In this case, this is a sheet protector, but there are other types of things you can use. You can use, if you have really thin paper, or it's called patty paper, that's really good, or any type of tracing paper. You can also use just a Ziploc bag if you have nothing else. Okay, so I'm going to first draw a segment right here on the transparency. You can really make your segment any length you want. I'm going to go with about 10 centimeters. I'm going to label it segment A, B. Okay, now it's angle, side angle, so we need two angles as well. So I'm just going to draw two acute angles. And don't really know what the measures are, but that's okay. Alright, so there's my segment AB and two given angle measures. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a construction method to copy the segment and then copy those two angles. Okay, now to copy the segment, I'm first going to draw a segment. Call that point A prime. Then I'm going to use my compass to measure the distance from A to B. Okay. We'll call that B prime. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. This pencil doesn't work very well on the tracing paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark right where the pencil hits there and there, just so you can see it. Then I'll do the same on the B side. Okay. So I'm measuring and making a mark here. That's going to be my A prime. I'll measure for the angle B. That's going to be my B prime. Okay, now it should be that if I hold my transparency, it should be the same or congruent. Take a look. You see right there how it lines up nicely. So what I have so far is a congruency because a sequence of rigid transformations maps this AB to A prime B prime. So what I have so far is congruent. Now according to the angle side angle triangle congruence theorem, if you have two angles in the included side for two different triangles as being congruent, then the triangles have to be congruent. So why does that work? Well, how do you make a triangle based on what you have so far? You have this one segment that's fixed, and you have these two rays coming off it that are fixed. So how do you form a triangle from here? The only thing you can do is extend the rays further. So let me do that. First I'll do it with the pencil and paper. And you can see already how this is going to form a triangle. Alright, and I'll call this C prime, let's say. Okay, now what about on this guy, on the transparency? Well, you can already see what happens. If I extend these rays, it's going to form the exact same triangle, or at least a congruent triangle. So this is why the angle side angle triangle congruence works. If you have two angles and an included side are congruent to two angles and an included side of a second triangle, those triangles have to be congruent. As you can see here, because there's only one possible way to form a triangle with that given information. And you can see here that the triangles are congruent.